Good morning, you guys. It's Venetia here, and I'm back with another video. As you can tell by the title, this is the world requested video of how I study. It's just gonna be a little tips and tricks. I'm gonna actually show you my slides so you can see how I study, and I'm gonna give you some tips and stuff like that. Also, towards the end of this video, I had like a couple questions, just like 2 or 3 that people had asked me that I asked you guys if you want to ask me any questions. Most of them I already answered on Snapchat, so because I didn't know when I was going to film this video, I said I was going to film Monday. It is now Thursday, so I just go ahead and I answered them already. So I do have a couple questions that was on my previous YouTube video, so I am just going to answer those towards the end of this video. So if you want to see how I study, stay tuned. Okay guys, so I'm going to show you my study guides. And if you hear something in the back, I'm so sorry. It is the fan. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 different study guides. Like, not study guides, but 2 different slides. One is going to be for med-surg and one is going to be for mom baby. Okay, so this is, and our teacher, I have a blueprint. I showed you guys that already, but our teacher also tells us how many questions is on the test when we take it. So I write that down, and how many mini multiple choice or SATA, so like the apply questions. So I also write that down. So while I'm studying, I can kind of try to see what they will be. Okay, so this is the child with condition of blood forming organs and lymphatic system. It says the mom baby chapter. I always have a tab. This is not real. I just ran out of tabs, so you'll see the real ones that I do use. Okay, so she does the slides. I print the slides out. If you do not print slides out, I don't know if you write stuff down, but for me, I did write stuff down last semester and I didn't do as well on my test. But when I did print the slides out, I did way better. So it's up to you though. So I just highlight literally everything that's important. So she made this slide. What do I need to know for NCLEX, or do I need to know these? And of course you do. These are labs. So I kind of just write, okay, clotting is the PT, you know, obviously, but it's simple stuff that you kind of forget during the test that you want to write down. Okay, so I highlight anything that's like little, so hypoxia driven, not seen in newborns, but not uncommon in children, mainly in the cervical chain. I write down my definitions that I need to know, because she kind of tells you, know these definitions, so I write them down. The reason that it's pink and blue is because I did these in different days. So I did this when we were in class, and then I did this while I was studying. I like to be color coordinated, but for this purpose I couldn't. So this looks like a mess, but it is very helpful. Okay, so I start, here's more definitions. Highlighting, guys, highlighting is going to be your friend, because it helps the things pop out, so everything doesn't look the same. You want to highlight anything that's important. So even the little things, like right here, you see T lymphocytes, that's cellular. B is humoral, so you want to know that. You want to know the difference, because they fight infection. They might ask you that question. You never know. Monocytes, I write little things next to them, so these are the things that clean things up. You can also write it on the lines, because I had a bunch of lines right here, but I just chose to write it right here. Different stuff about, okay, so this is the actual disease, or not disease, but I guess disease, anemia, iron deficiency anemia. Highlight that the hemoglobin less than 8. You don't want that to not pop out at you guys. You want to see that. The age that it happens in, preferably 9 to 24 months, because that is when, see, I wrote a little note, running out actually, and I know what I mean, but I mean running out of the iron supplements that they get, because parents start transferring them to other foods that are not as iron fortified. So that's, I just get it. Also, increased respiratory rate, that's one of the symptoms. So if it's not on here and your teacher says it, write it in. I'm telling you, write it in, because that's 9 times out of 10 it will be on the test. I write little notes at the bottom for the pills, or like the things. I write, see, I highlighted it. I started and I highlighted it in a different color, so it pops out at me. Specific things that have really good iron, like foods, so that your child or whoever can eat. These are what you want to know, because this was a mini multiple choice, actually, I believe. So yep, just keep going. That's how I do notes. It looks pretty crazy, but it's perfect for me. I also put bubbles around stuff that I really need to know, like stem cell transplantation is only available to those with human leukocyte antigen, and only is a word that is never used. So if it is used, you want to bubble it, or you want to highlight it, or you want to underline it. Like, that's what you want to do. Because 9 times out of 10, if you see only, it's not the answer, except for this one. So that's why I kind of did that. More definitions, more highlighting. It's pretty, I don't know, to me it's easy. This is how I can do it. I wrote the definition of a crisis. Well, not definition, but what it can be. It's painful and it can be fatal. I wrote stuff to do during a crisis. So during a crisis, anticipate the child needs tissue oxygenation, hydration, rest, protection from infection, because this is the person with sickle cell disease. So you want to be, and then I also write other stuff down, like don't use hot or cold packs to joints, may cause the sickling, which can cause ischemia, which can cause burns. So stuff like that, because I think number one was, what is the one that is wrong? And it was the ice pack. Which one would you question if the doctor ordered? It was an ice pack to the joint. See, you gotta write that stuff down, because this stuff is in the book, but it's not on her slide. So that's why I recommend writing, you know, other stuff down that's not on the slide and that's in the book. So that kind of helps, so you don't have to read the book every day. Definitions. This is care of a child with skin condition. This is more definitions. I write my definitions down. This is a chart. Now I'm going to explain this to you. This chart was right here on her slides. See, this is her slides. This chart was right here. What I did, I opened Word on my computer and I copied this whole chart and I pasted it onto Word, and I made my own big chart. Okay? I recommend doing this because it's way easier to study from, because they do give you blank spots for you to fill in, and how are you going to fill it in these little boxes? See how big I write? And it gives you more room, and I made the boxes a little bigger for myself because I know how I write. But this is the burn chart. I wrote it down. It helped so much. The things that are highlighted is stuff that really sticks out. Like for full thickness burn, you have tough leathery skin, whereas for deep dermal, it's mottled. So I wrote stuff like that down. The treatments, I recommend that. Metabolic, this is the one that got me. It's the diabetes chapter, basically. I did this for this chapter. A chart on hyper, which is ketoacidosis, and hypo. And I think to this day right now, I could probably still remember, these things, because of the way I studied it in depth, and I studied it so much. So what I did is I took a piece of paper, regular pencil paper, I folded it in half. Zoom out. I folded it in half. See? And it helps you see it better when it's side to side. So then I wrote hyperglycemia, which is also ketoacidosis, and hypoglycemia. I wrote the causes, which is excess insulin, inadequate, which always gets me because I feel like it should be opposite, right? No? Okay. I wrote the signs and symptoms that you would see, and then I wrote the treatments. So it's literally, and I did it in different colors, so it's literally on opposite sides, so I can be like, okay, this has this and this doesn't. If you do it front and back, I feel like that's too much flipping. This is perfect, and it's just a little folded piece of paper. Quick work. This was an objective on a test. I don't even think she asked a question about it, to be honest. But yep, that's how I take notes. There's another chart coming up here. Oh, she also asked about hypothyroidism, which wasn't on the slides, guys. So really be careful what your teacher says, because sometimes when they say you have to know something, it's not going to be on the slides sometimes. Like, there wasn't even a slide for hypothyroidism. I had to literally write it on the back. So I wrote it, and I wrote the symptoms, the signs, and I wrote the treatment. And that's how I had to do it, because there wasn't any space, there wasn't anything about hypothyroidism. It was just an objective. So I knew that I had to know it. This is the care for the child with communicable disease. I wrote my incubation period, prodromal period, fomite, vector. I wrote all that stuff down. And this one also comes with a chart right here. I don't know if you can see it. But this is a chart. We had to know these 4, and we had to know these 4 communicable diseases. And we had to know signs, treatment, spread, nursing. So I did the same thing. I copied and pasted it into Word, and I made the 2 charts. Very, very helpful. And I just filled everything in. Yes, it took probably like 30 minutes to, not an hour, but it took about 30 minutes for me to write everything in, because I literally wrote a lot in, and then I highlighted on top of that stuff that were specific to that disease so I could remember. So yeah, that took a while, but it did help. Like, yeah, it really did help. And what some stuff, I'm very weird, but some stuff, how I remember them, like this one was fifth disease, and it was basically called slap cheek because it leaves like a red mark on your cheek. How I remembered it was you have 5 fingers to slap somebody with. So boom, 5 fingers, fifth cheek, slapping somebody with 5 fingers. So the weirdest things help you remember stuff. So that's what I did for that. And I think that's it. And then we get into the cardiovascular system. Sorry, I do not want this video to be too long. But we get into the cardiovascular system, and this looks like a mess. You guys probably seen this on my Snapchat because I posted it. It looks like a mess. Like, what is going on beneath? You got different highlighter colors, you got different stuff everywhere. But to me, it makes sense. So I wrote no 4 chambers, and if blood is oxygenated or deoxygenated. She said that in her actual integrity, her video. So I wrote it down. I know that the right side goes to the lung, the left side pumps to the rest of the body. That's why the left side pumps 5 times as more, because it's pushing it systemically to the rest of the body. I also wrote it down here because it has to pump to the entire body. Left ventricle is bigger, stronger. I wrote the blood that travels, so right atrium, blah, blah, blah. I just write literally every single thing down. I write the beats per minute in each conduction site, which was on the test. So I'm happy that I knew that. Well, I already knew this because we already took this test, but little things that you think you would forget, like SA node, see how I wrote right there, pacemaker of the heart, boom. Easy, but you forget it. This is another wild page, but it makes sense. So aldosterone produced by adrenal cortex, and then I also wrote an arrow needed for electrical activity. Like, just write little things. I don't know if this helps you guys. I don't know if I'm all over the place, but to me, I think that this helps me. Arteries carry blood from heart to capillaries, oxygenated, thick, like little things like that. You do not have to write a whole paragraph. Just write little things that kind of make sense to you. Don't do this, because I did this. I wrote this and I didn't know what the heck it meant until probably a week later. And it means arteries carry oxygenated blood. No, arteries carry blood from the heart to the capillaries, oxygenated thick. Veins carry blood from the capillaries to the heart, deoxygenated thin. But I didn't realize that. I mean, it was right here, but I didn't realize it. Like, so don't do these little things if you don't think you're going to remember it a week later or the next day, because I seriously didn't remember it. Another tip. But yeah, so I just write extra stuff down, especially if there's a picture. I take upon that and write on those lines. Like, yes, I suggest doing it in the three slides with the lines, because you have ample room to write. I mean, even if you don't, you guys have seen me, I write inside the boxes. Some stuff you don't have to write on the lines, like, you just don't have to. I wrote lines because we didn't have to know those. I mean, you do for nursing, like real nursing, but we didn't have to know it for the test, so I just crossed it so I didn't have to focus on it. This, there was something else I wanted to show you guys, but I don't think I have it. But that's pretty much it. But more of the story is, if you, like me, last semester, I could sorry, I could show you my book, but that would make this video too long. But just comment below if you want to. But my book from last semester, not last semester because last semester's over, but you know what I mean, like my first semester of nursing school, I didn't know how to study. I didn't know how to read books, because literally nursing questions on a test is way different than questions you've taken in your gen classes or prereqs. That's what people like to call them. I call them gen, but it's way different. There's like, it's not comprehensive. It's not like, okay, what is the definition of blue or something like that, and it's like sky. Like, it's not that easy. It's like, Janet has blue shoes and she's presenting with symptoms of this. What does she have? You have to literally think, like, you have to know everything. So studying does give you a basis, so you can kind of be like, okay, she doesn't have this, she doesn't have this, she might have B or C, so let's do 50-50. And you kind of like, I don't know, it's just so different. But once you're in nursing school, you kind of understand what I'm saying. I really can't explain it. It's just something that, I don't know what it is. But last semester, which was my first semester of high school, damn it, y'all, in August of 2016, which was my first semester of nursing school, I used books, like notebooks, and I wrote all my notes down. I'd listen to the integrities and read the book and write my notes down, and I would see that I would get B's and C's on exams. Sometimes B's, but mainly C's. I seriously praise God that I passed that semester, because I do not know how I passed it. But I mainly get B's and C's. I got 1A that whole semester. I got 1A. And I was just like, why am I like not doing as well? Like, I'm studying, I would go to the library, then I stopped going to the library, started studying here at home, and I was just like not doing good, and it was annoying me, and everybody else was like passing. I'm like, what am I doing wrong that I can't understand? And like, is it because I wasn't a CNA, or like, I don't know, but it's not that. But yeah, so I realized, I'm like, okay, let me print off slides. So let me actually do this and print off the slides versus writing in a notebook. And guys, let me tell you, my grades went from B's, some B's, and a C and 1A to all A's and 1B, or like 1B in each class. And then I got a D in med-surg on one exam because it was respiratory, and it was the one day I didn't listen to the videos. So that goes to tell you, I have to hear to learn, I have to write, I have to see. I'm like every type of learner. I think I'm like 25 of each one. So that's just me. I don't know how you learn. You can learn from a notebook, but for me, I have to use like slides. I have to write stuff in. I have to, like, this is like beautiful to me. I have to see it. I have to like repeat it. I have to, and it's better because when I study in the morning, when I wake up, I don't have to go through the book. I can just look through my slides and be like, okay, because at that point you know what you know. So I just look through my slides real quick and be like, okay, remember that. I don't have to flip through the whole big book. But that's just me. This is the only way I know how to learn. I literally was busting out all A's this semester on every exam except 2 in med-surg, which was my final, which I really didn't care, and 1 other test, the respiratory exam, and then mom baby, I literally got all A's except for the final. So I think this is me. This is how I'm supposed to study, and I really love it, and I'm happy with the results. I don't know if it's going to be me in the summer. I don't know if it's going to be me in the RN year, but for now, this is how I have to study. So that's it, you guys. Stay tuned if you want to see those couple questions answered that my fellow subscribers have asked. So let's get into that. Okay. So this part of the video is going to be a couple questions. That's literally like 2 questions that some of my subbies have asked on my previous YouTube video. So I'm just here to answer them for you guys. So sorry. Eve P, or Evie P, I'm probably saying it wrong. She asked, how long is my program? Okay, so I'm in an ADN program, so I'm not in like a 4-year type thing. I'm in an accelerated program. So the LPN year, which is 3 semesters, is 11 months. And then at the end of that, you can get your LPN license, and you can, you know, be an LPN. You don't have to go back. Or you can go back for fall of the following semester or whatever and become an RN and go 2 semesters, which is 9 months. So 11 plus 9 months, I think I calculate as like 21 months or something like that. 11 plus 9, I think 21 months or something like that. So that's pretty much it. It's not, I don't feel it's that long, but you can go on to get your BSN depending. There's a lot of BSN bridge from RN to BSN programs online where you can go get your BSN. That's only if you really want your BSN. Some hospitals require it because they kind of want you to move up the ladder, but some hospitals don't really care because we're such a shortage for nurses. They don't care. They just want your nursing. I mean, because you get paid the same in some places. So I don't know. But and then the second question is, Kiera Grant asked, are you getting your LPN first and then going back for your RN? And one of my cool subscribers, Golden Ma, she answered it basically for me in a comment, but I'm just going to reiterate what I said. Yes, I don't know if she meant if I'm actually going to work as an LPN or like, how's my program? But I'm just going to answer it and how I think she means. So yes, I'm going to get my LPN. I'm going to take my NCLEX PN. I mean, but I do have a job right now. So if I do not pass that, I'm not going to put it into the universe, but God, you're with me. If I do not pass that, I will still work where I work right now. But if I do pass it, I will quit my job that I am right now, and I will work as a LPN just to get some experience because I wasn't a CNA. So I think working as an LPN can kind of help me. And then I already applied for the RN program. You have to apply and you have to pass a test to get in. So we take that test June 30th, I believe. So yes, I am going to be an LPN, and then I will go back as an RN, and I'm still debating if I want to get my BSN or not because I do not want to live in North Dakota. I am going to move from here which you guys will be there with me obviously, but I am going to move from here, and I don't know if where I move they'll require me to have my BSN. So it's like I'm kind of debating if I want to just do it all at once while the information is still fresh in my head, versus moving and 2 years down the line they're like, okay, you need to get your bachelor's because you're doing so good, you know, God willing, you're doing so good, we want you to be a charge nurse, or we want you to move up, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but yeah, but that's it, those 2 questions. And let me know if you guys want any other videos. I know this video is kind of all over the place. I didn't kind of know how to do a study video. I've watched some and some have done it differently, and I was just like, let me just do it my way that I think I can do it. So that's how I did it. So like this video, and I just want to say welcome to all my subscribers, my new subscribers and my old ones. I love you guys so much. I'm almost to 900 and I cannot believe it. It's only been a year and some months. And I'm a year and a month actually, and I am just so grateful. I love you guys so much. You guys are the reason I do it, and I just love the comments I get from you guys, and I love the feedback that I get from you guys, and I am always going to continue to do it. But yeah, so just let me know what other videos you want to see. I still have like 3 days left of this vacation. Saturday I work all day 12 to 10, but Sunday I work 1 to 6, but I will be getting my backpack ready and all that stuff. Tomorrow I'm getting my hair done because your girl looking ratchet. So tomorrow I'm getting my hair done, and I'm going school supply shopping just a little bit. Some printer paper, some command strips, nothing serious because I have literally everything I need. But I will show you guys of course what I get. And that's it. And then tomorrow after I get my school supplies and stuff, I'm so sorry this video is getting too long, but tomorrow after I get my school supplies I will do another sit down video of showing you guys what I got, even though if it's like 2 or 3 things, and then I will tell you guys how semester schedule will go video wise and my classes and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll have a complete schedule because you guys know I'm all over the place, but I will try. But it's just gonna be too nuts. I'm probably gonna skip a couple weeks, but I will let you guys know in the video tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching, and I love you guys. Bye.